stimulus checks were a very, very small component of the trillions of dollars that we pumped into the economy. It saddens me that people blaming checks that were either spent or saved, months and months ago. When something works, we should be doubling down on it. I certainly think a recession is inevitable at this point.
What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and fourth federal level stimulus checks to everybody in the nation we're hearing is back on the table in consideration. And I've got articles coming out from today that I've got to get you caught up on, and video footage for July 6, 2022, why they're saying stimulus checks. You can expect them here probably very soon. This is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, take a look, you guys. I keep you up to date on the latest headlines, let you know the news as it's rolling out, cite all the sources in the description below, and look at this one just coming out today. This is the number one reason why another stimulus check could be on the table. And I'm just going to let you know what it is right now. They're saying it's because of a recession, and we're hearing that we might even be in one right now. Now, take a look at this, you guys. Coming out today, Andrew Yang thinks a recession is inevitable at this point, but doesn't think stimulus checks spurred the inflation, and he says this is one of his major grievances. As you'll recall, he is a huge proponent of stimulus checks and monthly reoccurring, and he says all the stimulus packages that went out, the $6 trillion of additional spending, that of that, stimulus checks was a very small portion, and it was actually the biggest contributor to help people throughout the pandemic and fight poverty. And he's saying we should not blame the checks. There was an assortment of other things in those packages that sparked this inflation, and we need actually more checks. Take a look, you guys. This chart released today. Stimulus led to big gains in the U.S. household incomes, and you can see in the purple, those are the stimulus checks. They're saying it significantly boosted the income in households, helped fight poverty, and keep people afloat throughout the pandemic. Now, we're going to be diving into the video footage. I'm going to let you hear it for yourself from Andrew Yang, and we're going to be seeing, because they're saying we might be in a recession right now, and you might be expecting a fourth federal level check to help us get through this time. Now, in addition to that, things are wrapping up, you guys. I've been keeping you up to date on everything going on, and we heard that today. Portions of the revised Build Back Better bill are being sent to the Senate parliamentarian for approval to get through and passed in Congress this month. And if you missed that video, check it out right after this one. I just got you caught up on the latest that rolled out today. A lot unfolding, you guys, and we're hearing that regardless of whether that bill passes or not, progressives, they're saying get ready. Executive actions and executive orders by the president are going to be coming right before the midterm elections to send out tons of provisions that people have been waiting for. We're hearing wiping out student loan debt. A new one was added today that I shared with you, and people are waiting to see about fourth federal level checks, Social Security increases, child tax credits, all of these provisions that were promised. We're waiting to see if they're going to be coming here very soon. Also, I'm keeping you up to date on state, county, and city checks. If you missed my most recent video on that, check it out. These checks are going out from the American Rescue Plan funds. They're only available for limited amounts of time. You must apply in many cases, and if you don't and you miss the window of opportunity, the money just goes back to the federal government and you missed out on funds you should have got. Well, I'm going to make sure that nobody here on my channel misses out. I'm going to keep you up to date with a comprehensive list. Keep an eye out for that. Planning to release it this month so you don't miss out on anything. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in, get you caught up on the latest. Now, before we do me a quick favor, smash the like button. Just takes a second, helps me out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. If you appreciate the updates, thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, come join the Ram fam. It's free, why not? And also, if you got any specific questions, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Best way to get a hold of me by far. And also, I'm releasing new videos on what's happening with the real estate market, with our economy, with crypto. If you're interested in learning about personal finance, growing wealth, and what's happening, check out my second channel, Steve Ram Finance. And on there, I'm releasing new videos, short videos to help you out. I'm trying to release one every single day. So check out that channel as well if you're interested. I'll pin a comment down below. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's start off with this article as to why you can expect a check, and then what Andrew Yang has to say about more checks and an inevitable recession that's coming our way. All right, so first off, link in the description below to this article that just came out, and it says, during the heart of the pandemic, federal lawmakers provided 3 stimulus checks to people across the United States. But since March of 2021, no additional legislation has passed to put more money into people's bank accounts. Now, lawmakers have been focused on other priorities, and widespread support for another payment has been lacking. But one thing could change all of that, though, and that is a recession. Now, why a recession could mean more stimulus money becomes available. If the U.S. were to fall into a recession, this could result in lawmakers providing another stimulus payment. There's a simple reason why a recession would make another payment more likely. Stimulus checks have been used in the past to respond to this type of economic downturn and are an effective tool for doing so. So this pandemic was not the first time we've seen checks. Historically, they've been done, and every time they're saying they are the number one provision to help fight poverty. Now, will another recession occur? It says it is difficult to predict if a recession will happen or not. Some experts believe that one is likely to occur as a result of supply chain issues, high levels of inflation, the Federal Reserve raising interest rates, and the ongoing war with Ukraine, and a host of other factors. But no one can say for certain when or if a recession will hit the United States. Well, you guys, we're going to be hearing from Andrew Yang right now, and he's saying he thinks we're in one right now. And if we are not, it's inevitable that it's going to be coming here in about the next 6 quarters, he says. So let's go ahead and take a look. He's going to be discussing that and stimulus checks and why he believes we should have some more.
Questions about the economy, Andrew. Some people think we're on the verge of a recession or already in a recession. Do you agree? And how would the Forward Party approach the economy and inflation differently from Democrats or Republicans?
We're in a really tough spot economically. You can put me in the camp that thinks that a recession will happen sometime in the next 6 quarters, certainly. And I hope that the recession is relatively mild. There are forces that are cutting in both directions. But the single biggest thing that's pressing on American consumers is inflation. It's going from, frankly, industry to industry. And many companies are finding that they can actually raise prices and still do a robust business, in some cases make more money. So that there are going to be, in my mind, a lot of sources of persistence for inflation, which is going to lead to the Fed needing to raise interest rates more and more. I sat down for interviews with both David Rubenstein and Ray Dalio recently, both of whom have highly relevant perspectives. And David Rubenstein talked about how in the 70s, Paul Volcker raised interest rates to a point where unemployment was in the double digits, and there was a lot of economic pain. And David Rubenstein suggested that this situation is worse than that situation because our public indebtedness levels are much higher, and we've had low interest rates for so long that we've kind of maxed out our use of certain tools. So I think it's a very, very difficult spot. I hope we can avoid the worst of it, but I certainly think a recession is inevitable at this point.
What about universal basic income? I mean, that's become one of your trademarks. I get that you don't think the stimulus checks contributed to inflation, something you've noted, but many people believe that it does. Does that make UBI harder in this environment now that everyone's second guessing all the stimulus checks from the pandemic?
Well, and this is a source of frustration for me, Andy, because if you do the math, you find that the stimulus checks were a very, very small component of the trillions of dollars that we pumped into the economy. Most of that money, went into the financial system or the banks, or in some cases, large corporates. So it saddens me that people are blaming checks that were either spent or saved, months and months ago for some of the things that we're experiencing now. And the other aspect of this that makes me upset and agitated is that the enhanced child tax credit, which lifted millions of American children out of poverty, all of the data on that showed that the money was being spent on food and school supplies and fuel, and 140 economists plus, including Nobel Prize winners, said, hey, if there's anything we should do, it's continue the enhanced child tax credit. And of course, American politics being what they are, we discontinued it at the beginning of this year. And so we have to keep our eye on the ball. I mean, when something works, we should be doubling down on it, and not falling for these overly simplistic attributions, particularly at a point when we did pump $4-5 trillion into the economy, and 84% of that plus went into the financial system, large banks, to some extent, state and local governments. I mean, I'm not against all of the things that happened, but we made a series of choices, and we certainly prioritized institutions well above individuals and families.
So there you have it, you guys. That just coming out today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you agree with Andrew Yang? Do you disagree? Do you feel like fourth federal level checks were promised? They should come, that the government should hold on to what they said as they campaigned the Georgia Senate runoff elections on $2,000 checks. We had President Joe Biden say he was going to wipe out $10,000 of student loan debt. All of these promises unfulfilled, and they should come. Or do you disagree and feel like, no, right now with our economy and the way things are just so fragile and delicate, it might not be a good idea to send out more provisions? Do you think they should take the existing funds from the previous stimulus packages and reallocate those? There's an assortment of different things we're hearing are on the table, and this is all wrapping up as we get closer to these elections. And like I said, you guys, I'll keep you up to date every step of the way, share with you everything as it comes out, and link it in the description, put it on the screen, and read right from it so you know it's the latest. But you guys, thank you so much for joining me, as always. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash the like button for me. Helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Just takes a second. Thank you so much. Leave your comments. Share this out if you think it could help out other people. And if you want to stay up to date, come join the Ram fam. Like I said, it's free. Why not? All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Any questions for me, hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3, best and safest way to get a hold of me directly. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. A new video series coming out on real estate on that channel. And keep an eye out for that comprehensive list of all checks on all levels so you don't miss out on anything. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.